Hey classmates! So today, we are going to discuss how to simplify our radicals. But before that, don't forget to click the subscribe and hit the bell button for you to be updated on our lessons in mathematics. So let's get started! So let's have now our examples. So here we have 4 examples and we are going to simplify these 4 examples. So we have number 1, the square root of 9 raised to the power of 1. If you have like this as your radical, you can write it as like this. Another way of writing this one is just simply writing it as your radical symbol, then the number 9. Now, if there is no number outside your radical symbol, it is automatically that the index is number 2. And if the number does not have an exponent, it automatically has an exponent of 1. So if you have this as your example and you are going to get the square root of 9, our answer will be a positive and a negative 3. Now, why is it that it is a positive and a negative 3? Now, if you can remember, a perfect square is a number when you multiply to itself, the result is our radicand. So, that's why the answer is a positive and a negative 3. Because if a positive 3 is multiplied to a positive 3, the result is positive 9. And if you multiply a negative 3 times a negative 3, the result is still a positive 9. So that's why the answer to square root of 9 is a positive 3 and a negative 3. So let's go to our second example, the cube root of 8. Now, if you have this example, you are going to find a number when it is multiplied to itself 3 times. The result is 8. And therefore, the answer to the cube root of 8 is basically just 2. Because 2 times 2 times 2 is a positive 8. Now, take note on our second example, we only have the positive answer. We cannot have a negative answer because if you have a negative 2 multiplied to a negative 2, the answer is positive 4. Then a positive 4, when it is multiplied to a negative 2, the answer is negative 8. Therefore, it is not the same as your radicand 8. So therefore, we cannot have a negative 2 answer. It is just only a positive 2. So comparing the first and the second example, we can now generate a conclusion. If we have an index that is an even number, our radicand will have an answer that it is a positive and a negative answer. So whereas if we have an index that is an odd index, we will only have one answer. So let's have our third example. So what if we have a square root of a negative numbers? So if you are going to solve a square root of a negative numbers, when you are using your calculator, it will give you a math error. It simply means that this one doesn't have a real solution. Now, why is it does not have a real solution? Take note on our first example, we are going to find a number when it is multiplied to itself, the result is a radicand. Take note that a positive 3 times a positive 3, the answer is a positive 9. And therefore, a negative 3 times a negative 3, the answer is a positive 9. So, we cannot generate a negative 9 answer. So, that's the reason why that this one, it doesn't have a real solution. So now, let's have our fourth example, the cube root of negative 8. Now, the same as your first, second, and third example, we are going to find a number when it is multiplied to itself 3 times, the result is a negative 8. So take note, we have a positive 2 times a positive 2 times a positive 2. The result is a positive 8. So we cannot use the positive 2. But take note, if you are going to use a negative 2 multiplied to a negative 2, the result is a positive 4. And the positive 4, when it is multiplied to a negative 2, your answer is a negative 8. This simply means that if we are going to find the cube root of a negative number, for this example, that is a cube root of negative 8, our answer is a negative 2. So that's the difference between the square root of a negative number and the cube root of a negative number. In an even index with a negative number, it will not have a real solution. Whereas, if we have an odd index with a negative radical, we will have only one answer. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to click the subscribe and hit the bell button for you to be updated on our next video. Until next time, peace!